from capitalism born and bred to freedom soldiers whose actions implement what they've said. A regular Johnny Apple, hitting states to plant the seed. Using my words to spark your thoughts gives it the nourishment it needs. Vacant of fear but full of motive, seldom remains any of this breed. Revolution is what we see, red is what we bleed. We praise Che Guevara like the U.S. praises church. Weapons lead our paths and bullets quench our thirst. Combat is second nature, ambition is always first. But you don't see us. Pay attention. It seeps from my pores and it's colored on my lips. It drops with every word, embodies the sway in these thick hips. The ideology of a classless, stateless social organization is the shit. So capitalistic assholes don't scare me, and neither do their words. Threats may keep some down, but I live through my verbs. I hear all this talk of revolution, but I see no plan intact. How can you start a revolution when your spine barely holds up your back, spouting incoherent knowledge from cliff notes? Homie, your performance heavy lacks passion. So take a lesson. In a revolution, one wins or dies. And you ain't ready to go. I can see that in your eyes, but some of us were born ready. And if it takes our entire lives, we will start a revolution. Paint the country red. Change the definition of America from capitalism born and bred to freedom soldiers whose actions implement what they've said. But you still can't see us. So I'll be the first one visible. Bullshit has been dismissed. The name's Miss Ashleigh and I bleed red because I'm a fucking communist.
Daddy, you should have told me you would never be much of one. You should have told me you would never come in to get me and I would watch the sunset on childhood waiting for you to just pick me up. You should have told me that I would fall asleep by the windowsill after crying my little heart out to you in hopes that if I cried louder, I cried longer, you would feel it wherever you were. You should have told my mom that she would have to pick me up off that very same windowsill and carry me to bed after kissing the droplets off my cheeks. You should have told me that my mom would try to erase my weakness towards you by saying it was a weakness of me, Simone. You can't be so gullible. You can't get tangled in the fairy tales your daddy weaves. But little did I know those were once the fairy tales she believed. And at age 7, you see, that's hard for a little girl to conceive, because not keeping your promises came with ease. Should have told me it'd be weeks before we called from you again. And when I wait by the door, I would see you by that windowsill again. So I wish this was the last line or the last rhyme or the last time you let me down, but it's not. There was once when I really, really needed you. But instead of going after them, it was me you fought. I was 17, too naive to even breathe my own thoughts, and at the hands of my own family was how I got caught up, and I still sleep on the edge of the bed because I don't want to give my cousin an excuse to climb in or feel his hands on my innocence, not that ever stopped him. I was a slave in the family trade and everyone used me. But like an old pair of stockings that had been used one too many times, I had to run. So I ran to the family, mocked as abnormal, but the only ones that kept it steady. Simone, you don't have to see anyone until you're ready, and it was those two angels that protected me. Meanwhile, the others told you I was boy crazy, and you believed them. Told you my hormones were out of control, so you didn't console me. Unknown to you, because you really didn't know me. The only thing out of control was my extracurricular activities. Then you told me you were flying out to straighten me out. But it wasn't me that was crooked. And there was no way you could have possibly known all that I went through, because I never told you. But shit, I never told anyone. And for some, I never had to. But I thought you would invest faith in me like I always invested in you, even though you hardly ever came through. And I hated you. And it took me over 2 years to forgive you. So you should have told me that I would always accept excuses when people disappointed me. You should have told me that because of you, I would never make promises that I can't keep. You should have told me I would be weak every time a man left my life because I just don't know how to let go. And I want to say it's because of you, but I know it's my fault, and could you blame me? I kept waiting for them to come around like I waited on you. Kept giving them chances, and now I realize it's time for that you to replace with I, so maybe I should have told me. And it's my time to finally be real and tell you. And I know anyone that knows you knows that if you heard this poem, it would break your heart. From the start, mine was already broken. And I'm hoping that I can exhale all the hell I endured through the word that is spoken. And in the daytime, I still pray to see the Grim Reaper floating, because I still don't sleep at night. I know I'm alone, but I still have doubts. And every time I lay quiet, I hear my mom's muddled shouts. So I spit on the mic to cleanse myself, and with each line, I get my insides spit shine from the inside out. Because you never told me that having a father would be worse than what's doing without. Than doing without.
Her music was the sounds of a broken home. Fist hitting flesh, her mother screams, the wounds on her face always looked fresh, so she tried to cover them with beauty creams, hiding brown complexion under fake reflections of a love that she had lost so long ago. Because in a broken home, fake is as fake does, and fake parents Give fake love, feeding to the hate and the fear and the pain until numbness is all that remains. So she danced to the sounds of glass breaking, smashing against walls, or her father yelling drunken slurs into our calls, her mother crying herself to sleep at night. And she grew up thinking that this was how the normal families be, that this fucked up reality was all she's supposed to see, until one day when she was a 16-year-old girl and her beauty had grown and she'd taken out into her own wings and abandoned that fake broken home, she came across me and I saw her for what she was. Beautiful. And we talked. She told me she was a dancer. She was always dancing, and I told her I was a poet. I was always writing, and see, it wasn't long before we fell in love, and see, I knew this was love, because when she kissed me, I swear to God, it stopped time. I was lost in this feeling like some kind of rapid climb until I reached the zenith and was able to see the true beauty of this love, but see, a love like this wasn't meant to last. It was too deep not to pass. See, it was a love itself that made us fall, because she was too caring, too beautiful, too gullible. That is impossible 16-year-old girl, beautiful brown complexion, which she showed proudly, never letting anything get her down, never worrying about the past. See, it just wasn't meant to last. He saw her driving by in his car and she waved. She had met him at a party the night before, and when he saw her, he waved and opened the front door, told her he would give her a ride. But really, he had other plans, didn't confide. When she was in the car, he pulled out a gun and she knew it then. She began to cry. Those were real tears. He put the gun to her head and told her to suck his. Those were real tears. And he raped her. And you can still hear the screaming. He left her bruised, battered, broken up, open cuts, pleading that she had only been dreaming. But this was real, and these wounds would never heal. When I found out, I was broken, numb, struck dumb. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't say it, so I just held her tight as she cried, and I tried to find myself, find her. But she was lost and in pain, a hurt so deep her soul couldn't contain. Her beautiful brown complexion, lost of the bruises of an outer hurt, incomparable to the hurt within. And she was changed, unable to love, unable to keep going with what we had worked so hard to make work. See, she had died inside and I cried, but broken hearts hurt all the time, except this time it's hers and mine, and the pain just won't go away. Maybe you can make it stop. Stop the violence. Thank you.